In November 2014, the body of 25-year-old Sumati Ningsi, a domestic worker from Indonesia, was found tied up with ropes and all but decapitated in a luxury apartment in the swanky Wan Chai area of Hong Kong. Sumati's body had been left in a suitcase out on the balcony to rot. In the living room of the same apartment was the body of 29-year-old Seneng Mujiasi. She too was a domestic worker from Indonesia. Her throat had been slashed. When the apartment's tenant, 31-year-old British banker Rurik Jutting, notified the police of the two murders that he'd committed, not only did he offer no explanation for his savagery, he showed no remorse of any kind. How did this wealthy expat go from likeable schoolboy to sadistic killer? Now viewer, if I've got you hooked on the story so far, do subscribe, give the video a like, drop a comment when you're ready and donate. Hit the thanks button below, I'll appreciate you. The older of two boys, Jutting grew up in the well-to-do Surrey stockbroker belt. Coming from money, his family owned a listed mansion in Chertsey, which is said to have been the inspiration for Toad Hall in Kenneth Grahame's world-famous work, The Wind in the Willows.
The court also heard this morning about some of the items that were found at the crime scene. Things like ropes, a blowtorch, a serrated knife, sex toys, things like that. So lots of chilling details this morning.
Jutting seemed at one point to have been of a fiercely competitive nature. Ranking 6th of the thousands of boys who applied to the highly prestigious independent boys' school, Winchester College, left him massively disappointed. Only coming first would have been good enough for him, it seems. Jutting became a boatie, a member of the rowing club at Peterhouse College, Cambridge, while studying law and history. He joined the cross-country club too, and was, for many years, a notably fit and attractive young man who could attract any woman that he wanted. That said, some of Jutting's university contemporaries have disclosed the distinctly arrogant side of Jutting's personality.
A reminder though that the defendant, Rurik Jutting, has pleaded not guilty to 2 charges of murder, but he has pleaded guilty to 2 lesser counts of manslaughter and to a 3rd charge of unlawful burial.
Jutting came from money, or at least relative wealth. And yet, it was only in the course of his career as an elite banker, starting off as a trader for Barclays in the city, that Jutting developed both a taste for the high life and an obsession with making money. Jutting dated a glamour model, went on expensive skiing holidays, and joined an exclusive private members club in Shoreditch, East London. With his banking career on an upward trajectory, Jutting is said to have used his first city bonus to hire a prostitute. It may or may not have been during this encounter that Jutting developed a liking for violent sex.
The evidence we're talking about includes video and images that the defendant had recorded on his phone, and that includes parts of the killings, and it also includes video of him talking about the way he raped one of the victims. So some extremely chilling details.
Jutting's engagement to a fellow city banker ended when Jutting discovered that she cheated on him. This was in 2012 and it left Jutting devastated. Soon after his breakup, Jutting was transferred in his banking role at Merrill Lynch to Hong Kong. Jutting spent much of his £350,000 a year salary on cocaine and on high-class call girls. That's expensive, or high-cost call girls, of course.
We are lucky because he don't do that to us. I met Rurik actually really in a bar. I'm a dancer in that bar. I work as a dancer. Foreigner customers, they like to talk to you, sit at our table. They will buy drinks for you. And then after that, if they ask if you're available or if you can come with me, go outside. It's up to you if you're gonna agree. We don't know that we have a friend can kill people.
To be exact, usually dressed in scruffy clothes and flip-flops, Jutting would often blow £2,000 a night on drink and drugs. He lived alone, playing computer games, gambling and gorging on fast food and on alcohol. On the point of alcohol, in fact, just before going to bed, Jutting would drink virtually a whole bottle of vodka. That's how he got to sleep, he tells. Having no proper friends, Jutting was, as a result of his frequent drug binges, prone to behaving and looking like a zombie.
Rurik sometimes have a good mood and then sometimes have a bad mood. He order many white wine. He asked about a party, jacuzzi party. And then he said, I'm gonna pay all the girls here, 8 girls. And they pay us to stay with him in a hotel. We're just joking about if Rurik is a killer and we are the victims. And that time, we don't know that he's real, that he's a killer, but we are not the victims.
Jutting had also long since lost the physical fitness and attractiveness of his younger years, having grown considerably fat. Jutting made several debauched trips to Angeles City in the Philippines. On account of its cheap booze and thriving sex industry, the city is known as Sin City. In Sin City then, Jutting met a nightclub hostess. Their relationship would last 6 months. 2 weeks before murdering Sumarti, filming on his iPhone the despicable tortures that he inflicted on her, Jutting invited his girlfriend, whose name I couldn't trace, to Hong Kong. The 22-year-old says that Jutting hadn't given her any red flags relating to his true nature and that the two had even discussed marriage.
Rurik Jutting, a Cambridge-educated financial trader, pleaded not guilty on the grounds of diminished responsibility.
As regards Jutting's true nature, the psychiatrist who examined him after he was arrested for the 2 murders confirmed what was already abundantly clear. With his narcissistic personality disorder, Jutting was someone who frequently fantasised about torture, rape and kidnapping, found that fantasising about those evils wasn't enough, and, devastatingly for Sumarti and Seneng, did something about that. In the time between his 2 murders, Jutting changed his auto-reply in his work email. It now said, I am out of the office, indefinitely. For urgent inquiries, or indeed any inquiries, please contact someone who isn't an insane psychopath. Jutting had, in fact, come to hate his job. He enjoyed the lifestyle that it afforded him, but no longer wanted to have to work so hard for it. Having noticed a slump in Jutting's attitude and output, his boss had warned him about the potential consequences of his behaviour. On no less missing a meeting in London, Jutting told his boss, by way of excuse, that he had HIV. I personally don't see how being HIV positive can make someone miss a meeting. Jutting reported to the police that he murdered 2 prostitutes. After working as a domestic helper, Sumarti worked as a waitress. In the course of both jobs, she was sending money back home to her young son and to her parents. Seneng, meanwhile, having found herself out of work after time as a domestic helper, made money wherever she could. If both or either women ended up in sex work, that will have been their very last resort. They weren't on £350,000 a year, you see.
Outside court, campaigners for migrant workers' rights have been calling for compensation for the Indonesian families of the victims.
Jutting is set to spend the rest of his life in Hong Kong in prison. Such was the sentence that he received on being found guilty in October 2016 of double murder. If this video has gripped you, I recommend you to watch this one next. I'll meet you there.